Sadiq and the Explorers by Simon Nuurali, art by Anjan Sarkar. Hi, I'm Sadiq. My family and I live in Minnesota, but my parents are from Somalia. Sometimes we speak Somali at home. I'd like you to meet my family and learn some interesting facts and terms from our culture. Oyo, Baba, Nuurali, Leah, Rania, Mina. Chapter 1. A Walk in the Park. No running, Sadiq, Hoyo called out. I don't want you to get too far ahead. Okay, Hoyo, Sadiq called back. He raced along a wooded trail at Pine River State Park. It was a sunny Saturday afternoon in late June. School was out for the summer, and the park was busy. Lots of families were out hiking, canoeing, and fishing. Let's go sign in at the visitor center, said Baba. There's a guided hike up one of the trails today. Sadiq was the first one to the door of the visitor center. His Baba and Hoyo, and his siblings, Nuurali, Aliyah, Amina, and Rania, all caught up to him. They got in line to sign up for the hike. Will we see any animals, Baba? Asked Sadiq. I don't know, Wilkega, replied Baba. We'll see where the ranger takes us. Soon they were at the front of the line. Baba signed them in. A few minutes later, the group gathered around a woman wearing a green uniform. Hi, everyone, the woman said. I'm Ranger Quinn. Is everyone ready to go? All the kids said, yes! We will walk along a nature trail, said Ranger Quinn. It goes through the woods beside the river. Please stay close and don't wander off. You may take pictures. Feel free to ask questions along the way. Will we see any animals, Ranger Quinn? Asked Sadiq. Probably, she replied, smiling. There are lots of squirrels, rabbits, and birds in this park. If we're lucky, we might spot a deer, fox, or even a hawk. Oh, wow, said Sadiq, his eyes going wide. He couldn't wait. I really want to see a fox, he whispered to Aliyah. Me too, said Aliyah, grinning. The group set off on the trail. Ranger Quinn pointed out plants and flowers as they hiked. This tree is called a cottonwood tree. We have a lot of them in this park, said Ranger Quinn. It has seeds that look like cotton. When they fall from the tree, sometimes it looks like snow. Sadiq stared up at the tall tree. How tall are they? He asked the ranger. They are usually 40 to 50 feet tall, said Ranger Quinn. Wow, said Aliyah. That's 10 times as tall as me. Baba, can you take a picture? Asked Sadiq. I want to show Zaza and Manny. He knew his best friends would be impressed. Yes, Kalb, Baba said as he took out his phone. After Baba took a photo, the group continued hiking. In a few minutes, they reached a patch of wildflowers. There are many different kinds of wildflowers in this park, said Ranger Quinn. Here we have butterfly weed, milkweed, and black-eyed Susans. She pointed to the flowers as she named them. Do butterflies like butterfly weed? Asked a young boy. They do, said Ranger Quinn. In fact, butterflies like all these flowers. This is my favorite, said Aliyah, pointing to a flower on the other side of the trail. Because it's purple? Asked Sadiq. Purple was Aliyah's favorite color. Aliyah nodded and smiled. That's a purple coneflower, said the ranger. It blooms in the summer. A large bird flew off a branch above them. What kind of birds are in the park? Asked Nuurali. We get lots of birds, said Ranger Quinn. In the summer, the bald eagle is very common. Many eagles nest near the river. Cool, said Sadiq. He turned to his brother. That means we might see one, Nuurali. I hope so, said Nuurali, laughing. He high-fived his little brother. You're really excited. I am, Nuurali, said Sadiq. I didn't know this park would have so many cool plants, and animals, and birds. I am glad you're having fun, Kalb, said Hoyo, smiling. The group hiked for another hour or so. They saw all kinds of plants, from different trees and wildflowers to fruit bushes. They saw many animals too, including squirrels, turtles, and toads. Sadiq was a little disappointed they didn't see a deer or a fox. Can we come all the time? Asked Sadiq. He really wanted to see a fox. Maybe not all the time, said Baba, laughing. You can also explore on your own, said Ranger Quinn. You don't have to be at the park to explore nature. Can I really? Asked Sadiq, looking up at his parents. Of course you can, said Hoyo. There are all kinds of plants, birds, and insects to discover, said Ranger Quinn. Where can I find them? Asked Sadiq. You could start in your backyard or at a local park, said Ranger Quinn. A field guide can help you figure out the names of wildlife you find. Then you can record them in a nature journal. I'll show you mine so you see what I mean. The ranger reached into her pocket and pulled out a small notebook. In it, there were drawings of animals, plants, and insects she'd seen. She had also written notes about the wildlife. That's really cool, said Sadiq. I think I'll start a nature journal. Then he got another idea. Sadiq smiled and said, and I think I'll start an exploring club. I bet Manny and Zaza would like to join. The group started walking back to the park office. Baba, can I buy a field guide like Ranger Quinn suggested? Asked Sadiq. I'd like to use my allowance. Of course, Sadiq, replied Baba as they walked into the visitor center. Why don't you go take a look at the gift shop? Sadiq hurried over to the gift shop and began looking around. Soon he found the book section. Wildlife of Minnesota, he read aloud. He paged through the book and looked at the pictures. He couldn't wait to explore some more. Chapter 2. The Explorers. When Sadiq got home, he ran upstairs. He called Zaza to talk about the club. Hi, Zaza. Guess what, said Sadiq. I went hiking today. I learned all about plants and animals. It was so much fun. Hi, Sadiq. That's great, replied Zaza. Manny is here. We were playing video games. That's awesome. I can ask both of you then, said Sadiq. Ask us what? Said Zaza on speakerphone. I am starting a new club, said Sadiq. What's it for? Asked Manny. Exploring, said Sadiq. Where would we explore? Asked Zaza. Ranger Quinn said we can explore anywhere, said Sadiq. I bought a field guide too. I'm in, said Zaza. Me too, said Manny. What's the name of our newest club? The Explorers Club, said Sadiq. After Sadiq hung up, he went downstairs for a snack. Hoyo was in the living room on the computer. What are you doing, Hoyo? Asked Sadiq. The 4th of July is next weekend, Hoyo explained. I'm sending out an invitation to our neighborhood block party. Like the one we had last year? Asked Sadiq. Hoyo nodded, smiling. Ah, Kalb, she said. Sadiq loved block parties. Zaza and Manny both lived nearby, so they were usually there too. I can't wait, he said. The next day, the Explorers Club met at the neighborhood playground to plan their new club. I brought notebooks from home for us, said Sadiq. He passed one to each of his friends. We can use them as nature journals. Can we draw pictures of what we see? Asked Zaza. Yes, said Sadiq. You can draw what you see and then make notes about it. How will we know what we are seeing? Asked Manny. That's what the field guide is for, said Sadiq. He held the book out for them to see. It has pictures of the plants and animals nearby. It also tells you about what they look like, where they live, and what they need to survive. Cool, said Zaza. He took the field guide from Sadiq and began to look through it. Just then, 2 of their other friends walked onto the playground. Hi, Lena. Hi, Anna, called Sadiq. He waved them over. Come hang out with us. Hi, guys, said the girls, walking toward them. What are you up to? We are about to go exploring, said Zaza. Do you want to join us? Exploring what? Asked Lena. Plants and animals, said Manny. We started a new club, the Explorers Club. Sadiq has a field guide. We thought it would be fun to try to use it here, said Zaza. He handed the field guide to Lena. That sounds like lots of fun, said Anna. Look at the cute bunny, Lena said, looking through the field guide. She turned to Anna. Let's join the Explorers Club. Where should we start? Asked Anna. Should we look for flowers or animals? Let's look for animals first, said Sadiq. They are way cooler. What kind of animals? Asked Lena. She handed the field guide back to Sadiq. There are deer nearby. I'd like to see one, said Sadiq. Cool, the kids replied. They walked toward the trees to search for animals. Look, a butterfly, said Lena. The orange butterfly was resting on a bush. It's really pretty, said Anna. Can we look up its name? Asked Zaza. Yes, said Sadiq. He opened his field guide to check. Manny looked over Sadiq's shoulder. It's a painted lady butterfly, he said. I don't think that's right, said Anna, peering at the page. The one you're looking at in the book has spots. This one has stripes. Look at the wings. It's a monarch butterfly, said Zaza, looking at the book. Look at the picture here. It looks exactly the same. Just then, the butterfly flapped its wings and took off. Flew away, said Anna, smiling. Maybe it went to find flowers somewhere else. Let's look for bigger animals, said Manny. I'd like to see a deer too. Where do we look, Sadiq? Sadiq flipped through the pages of his field guide. It says they live near forests and farmland. Sadiq frowned. There are no farms near here, but there is a forest. He pointed to the trees in the distance. Let's go, said Anna. I'm not allowed to leave the park, said Sadiq. But we can look along the edges of the trees. The kids kept exploring and looking for animals at the edge of the woods. Still, they only found plants and insects. I am getting tired, said Sadiq, sighing. We still haven't found any cool animals, just insects. Should we go home? Asked Manny. I am pretty tired too. He leaned against a tree. Just then, there was a rustling noise behind them in the woods. The kids all went quiet and listened closely to the sound. A moment later, a squirrel poked its head out from behind a bush. Ugh! I thought it was going to be a deer, said Zaza. Me too, said Lena, laughing. Let's go home, said Anna. We can try again tomorrow. The kids headed back toward the playground. Suddenly, Zaza bent down to look at something. Come and look at this flower, he said. It's such a bright color. Is it a wood lily? Asked Lena, flipping through the book. I think that's too red, said Sadiq, looking at the picture. Zaza's flower is not as red. Lena continued to look through the book. She finally stopped on a page. I found it, she shouted. I think it's a red columbine. She held up the field guide to show the others. Lena's right, said Zaza, looking from the book to the flower. The picture matches the flower exactly. The explorers are back, said Sadiq, laughing. Chapter 3. Meeting Ms. McGee. The next morning, the kids met at the park again. Let's check out the creek, said Zaza, walking toward it. Maybe there are turtles in it. Or frogs. Ribbit, ribbit, said Manny. Everyone please be careful, said Sadiq. Don't fall in the water. My Hoyo says the creek can be really deep. Oh, a ladybug, said Lena, kneeling on the grass. Anna, come look. We'll look by the shore, said Manny. Call us over if you find something, said Lena. We can look in the field guide and write it down. Is that a turtle? Asked Sadiq, staring at something in the water. No, that's a rock, said Manny, laughing. I found a frog, shouted Zaza, who was a little way down the shore. The explorers all made their way toward Zaza. Let's check the field guide and see what it says, said Sadiq. He peered down at the frog. It was in a pile of leaves by the shore of the creek. It might be a wood frog, said Anna, looking through the book. It's really small. The one in the book looks brown, said Manny. This one is greener, I think. Maybe the American bullfrog? Asked Zaza. It's closer in color. Bullfrogs are really big, said Sadiq. This one is too small. I think I found it, said Lena, looking in the field guide. It's a green frog. We already said it was green, said Anna. No, that's the name of the frog, said Lena. Look. The kids crowded around her to look. Lena's right, said Sadiq. It is a green frog. Cool, said Anna. Look over there, said Manny, pointing. It's our neighbor, Ms. McGee. She's walking her dog, Atticus. Let's go say hi to them, said Zaza. I want to pet Atticus. He ran off toward Ms. McGee. Hi, Zaza, said Ms. McGee, smiling. The rest of the explorers trailed behind Zaza. What are you kids doing today? We are exploring, said Sadiq. We already found a bunch of plants and animals. That sounds like a ton of fun, said Miss McGee. We started the Explorers Club, said Sadiq. We want to see what else we can find. We just found a green frog, said Zaza proudly. And we saw a monarch butterfly yesterday, said Anna. That's awesome. You kids have been busy, said Ms. McGee. Atticus and I are doing some exploring of our own. What are you looking for? Asked Lena. Ideas for a scavenger hunt, said Ms. McGee. What's a scavenger hunt? Zaza asked. It's like a treasure hunt, said Ms. McGee. You have to find certain things within a certain amount of time. I'm working on it for the 4th of July block party. I thought it would be fun for the neighborhood kids. Scavenger hunt? Can we help? Asked Anna. Yes, we would love to help, said Sadiq, jumping up. How exciting, said Lena. Is that a yes from everyone? Asked Ms. McGee. Yes, said all the kids together. Wonderful, said Ms. McGee. I want it to be mostly nature items. That's what Atticus and I were looking for. Everything needs to be found within the neighborhood block. We don't want people taking things from nature, though. I will ask everyone who participates in the hunt to use a camera to capture the things they find instead. Sounds great, Sadiq said. The explorers are on it. Chapter 4. Making the List. The next day, the kids met outside Sadiq's house. They were going to plan the scavenger hunt. Let's see what we can find, said Sadiq. Then we can make a list. We can't go very far, said Manny. Ms. McGee said everything has to be found on this block. I brought my field guide to help, said Sadiq. The kids set off. We have daisies outside my house, said Manny. We can make a list of the flowers we have. Good idea, Manny. We could put tulips on there, said Lena. And my mom has some rose bushes, so that could be on it. We should add things besides flowers, said Sadiq. Well, we can't add animals, said Anna. Why not? Asked Zaza. Because they won't stay still long enough for people to take a picture, said Anna. What are we going to do? Asked Manny, sighing. We can't have a scavenger hunt that's just for flowers. Well, not everything has to be a plant or an animal. We could pick other stuff to put on the list too, said Lena. Like what? Asked Anna. We could put things like a wood chip or a rock, Lena said. That's true, said Manny. I once did a scavenger hunt at school. The list included things like something rough and something yellow. Those are all great ideas, said Zaza. This is a good plan. Not everyone will have a field guide to help them. The things we put on the list should be things that everyone will know, said Anna. I'll start writing the list, said Sadiq. He wrote down the items they'd already said and continued writing as his friends added things. A half hour later, the explorers had their list. Ring the doorbell, Manny, said Sadiq. They were standing outside Ms. McGee's house, ready to show her their list for the scavenger hunt. I hope she's home. A moment later, the door opened. Hi, kids, said Ms. McGee. Hi, Ms. McGee, they replied. We finished our list for the scavenger hunt, said Lena. Wow, that was fast, Ms. McGee said. We thought about how everyone will take pictures of the items on the list, said Sadiq. So we didn't include anything that will move too fast. Would you look at it? Asked Anna. Ms. McGee quickly read the list. When she looked up, she smiled. This is great, kids, she said. I will print out copies and bring them to the party. I'll also add some rules to the list, including the one about taking a picture of each item. Thank you for your help. Everyone will have so much fun. Chapter 5. The Hunt. It was finally the 4th of July. Sadiq's neighborhood block looked very festive. There were red, white, and blue decorations hanging up on people's fences and houses. Flags flew on people's porches. Kids and adults were talking, eating snacks, and playing games in the street. The block was closed to cars for the evening. Are you guys ready for the scavenger hunt? Sadiq asked his friends. They all sat on a picnic blanket in the grass, munching on snacks. We shouldn't play, since we made the list. It wouldn't be fair to the others, said Zaza. That's a good point, Zaza, said Sadiq. Do you think people will like it? We made the clues tough, said Lena, but I am sure someone will find everything and win. Music played on a stereo. Baba and the other dads were busy grilling food for everyone. I've been waiting all afternoon for the hot dogs, said Sadiq. My dad makes the best hot dogs. Not better than mine, said Zaza, grinning. Soon the food was ready. Everyone sat down around tables or in the grass to eat and drink. When they were finished, Ms. McGee stood up to speak. Attention, everyone, she said. It's time for the scavenger hunt. I will explain the rules. Ms. McGee held up the list the kids had created. You can split into groups of 3 people. Each team must be back on time to win, she said. How long do we have? Asked a girl. The time limit is 20 minutes, said Ms. McGee. Also, you must stay within the block to find the items on the list. She pointed to the list. When you find an item, don't remove it from its place. Instead, please take a picture. Does anyone have any questions? She asked. When no one asked anything, Ms. McGee continued. We can thank the Explorers Club, Sadiq, Manny, Zaza, Lena, and Anna, for their wonderful work putting this scavenger hunt together. The neighbors clapped and cheered for the explorers. The explorers will help me judge who is the winner. Now find your team, said Ms. McGee. Everyone got into groups of 3. Then Ms. McGee said, Everyone ready? Okay then. On your marks, get set, go. The teams raced off in different directions. The explorers watched and cheered. Kids, while we wait, Ms. McGee said, I got something for you for helping out with the scavenger hunt. She handed them a blue gift bag with green spots on it. What is it? Asked Sadiq. He peered inside. A backpack? Thank you. Not just a backpack. Look inside, said Ms. McGee. It's an explorer kit. It has all kinds of helpful tools to explore nature. The kids opened the backpack and looked inside. Binoculars, said Manny. And a map and a compass, said Lena. Thank you, Ms. McGee, the kid said. For your future adventures, said Ms. McGee, smiling. Aaliyah and her team ran back first. I think we got everything, said Aaliyah, trying to catch her breath. Soon after, the other teams started coming back. The 20-minute time limit was up. The explorers went through every team's pictures and counted their finds. The winning team is Aaliyah's, with 12 items, Sadiq announced. Yes! Shouted Aaliyah, jumping and high-fiving her teammates. I knew we would win. She turned to Sadiq. Maybe I'll start my own Explorers Club. We could compete. No one can beat us, said Sadiq, grinning. But you can try.